March of 2020, right before it all fell apart, I did a show with Garth Brooks.
Sick.
That was incredible. Just because, like I said, I grew up on Garth. 8-year-old me would be like, "What in the hell did you do?"
Hell yeah. Man, 30-year-old me is already saying that. I'm not even part of it, man.
You're listening to Studio 22.
Welcome to Studio 22. I'm Brock O'Hearn with my co-host, Will Meldman, and we are sitting with Chase Rice. How's it going, man?
What's up, guys? You guys literally actually just interrupted me from my best game of golf I think I've ever had, with the exception of like 3 shots.
Is that one of those shots, the ones that bounced off the house right
Yeah,
here?
that was a good. It was like 10 feet from the green, though.
Oh, that's awesome. No way. Dude.
I've always wondered, he's got these glass panels at JT's house here.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered if they'd break. And I found out today they do not.
They give a good bounce.
Oh, my God. And then I got to the ball. To reference, I hit a driver off the deck from my horrible drive. And then I hit the driver off the deck into the glass. But when I got to the ball, I looked back at the house. There's huge trees between where I was and the house. So I have no idea how that happened, but pretty sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like that Happy Gilmore putt scene that he's got where he's just bouncing it off. That's my game.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
That was too funny. We were sitting in here recording and then we're like, did that just happen?
That was me.
Figure out what it was.
And it was even funnier that it was you, man. Yeah.
If you take us back a little bit, how did you first get into music?
I was a sophomore at Carolina before I picked up a guitar. And one of our offensive linemen, I played football at Carolina. And that was my goal. That was what was going to happen. And everything was going to be good. I was going to have a 15-year, career in the NFL, and it was going to be good to go. And then sophomore year, Ben Lemming was offensive lineman. He had a guitar. He played Dave Matthews and stuff. He taught me the G chord and D, E minor, C, which is all I cared about because it was just easy chord progressions. Funny enough, that is the chord progression for Cruise, which is the first number one that we wrote. But he was just teaching me stuff like that. And then he was playing one day, and I was like, he said, dude, we were singing Brad Paisley, I think. He said, man, you should be a country singer. And that was like the equivalent of, you should be an astronaut.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, I'll just go do that. And so I just kept learning. And then going into my junior year, I snapped my ankle real bad, tendons, a lot of stuff going on. Ended his first game of the season. Like, it was my first, oh man, you're the guy. And we had all defensive packages. I was the only one that didn't come off the field. And I was playing really good football. Chuck Pagano was our D coordinator. We were rolling. And first game of the season, second quarter, snap that. I'm done for the year. And so that year I got a little bit better at guitar because there's nothing to do. And I'm kind of at that point wondering, am I even going to play again? Because it was bad. Made it back kind of physically. I wasn't the same guy. But my senior year, going into that summer, it was May 18th. Is today 19th? Ooh, yeah.
I'm not sure.
It was 14 years ago
to
yesterday. My mom calls. She's like, come home, Dad died. So I'm just like, God dang, man. You can't catch a break. And so I go home, start writing song. I wrote my first song about him. And it was the same chords, G, D, minor, C. That was what I knew. Wrote that, went to Georgia during a bye week. Football was slipping away real fast because I didn't care about anything, and I was physically messed up. And then went down to Georgia with my college best buddy in college, roommate. Hang around down there, write a song called "Georgia Girl." Just keep writing basically what's happening to me in my life. I was going to put out an acoustic record, just for fun for me. That turned into a full band record. That was where I was at the time. It was like $15,000 to record the whole album in Carborough, North Carolina. And it was a group of songs. That was all I knew. It was just 15, or 12, 13 songs. That was just, all right, this is what I got. Let's put it out. And it was, looking back, it's pretty bad. But it was where I was. I mean, why would I be good? I just learned.
Yeah. Had you been singing before that, or?
No, that was like I said, Ben was like, man, you should be a country singer. And like, all right, yeah, no, that's
crazy.
So I just did it for fun. And then, throughout all that, we'd go to Cashiers, North Carolina, and every summer I'd get back up with my childhood buddy that I played Little League soccer and baseball with, Brian Kelly, who was the Florida part of Florida Georgia line. And we'd play songs back and forth. I'd play some I wrote, he'd play some he wrote, and just family and stuff in the living room. And then kept getting a little better. I do remember, like, right when I started, my dad told me he'd get me this Martin D18 guitar. This must have been right before he died. He said, all right, I'll get it for you, but you got to play like 4 songs for me and your mom in the living room, setting like this. And so I did. He got me that guitar. That's still the guitar I play today on stage. I took like 8 years off from it, which I wish the last 8 years had that beating on that guitar.
Yeah. But
from here on out, that's my guitar. And so it just slowly progressed into, I'd send my music to Brian. He'd be like, yeah, I'm considering starting with my buddy Tyler, this band called Florida Georgia Line. So that's a cool name. But we just keep going back and forth like that. And then I was working in NASCAR after I was done with football.
Hell yeah.
That just happened because one of our football coaches went over to Hendrick Motorsports to recruit athletes. I was the first group of 10 guys that he recruited. We came in and it worked right away. It's like, why would you not have a bunch of athletes come in and just be faster than the guys that work in the shop? So that worked, but I was miserable that whole time. So
how long were you there for?
I was there 1 year. We won a championship with Jimmy Johnson. That was cool. That was in 10.
Yeah, even winning, you're miserable.
Yeah, I was living in a hotel. It was just, that was the point where I was like, I was so miserable that I wanted to do something else, but the only thing I could do, football was gone. The only thing I could do was music. Even though I wasn't good enough, I still had a buddy living in Nashville. All right, let's go visit Nashville. And the only way I could visit Nashville was not planned. I got in a fight outside of Martinsville Speedway with one of our teammates, hit him in the face. Shouldn't do that, I guess. Got suspended for 2 weeks.
Might be frowned upon, I guess.
That wasn't good. But that turned out to be the only time during that season where I was like, all right, well, shit, I got 2 weeks. Went to Nashville to visit Brian. That was my first visit to Nashville. Fell in love with it. We played. I played on a stool. Tyler was to my right. Brian was to my left. They played songs of their own, played together. I played my own stuff. And that was my first time singing in a microphone. It was bad.
Wow.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I loved it. And they already had a little thing starting just around with their friends in town. And then the next time when I finally quit, I quit because of Survivor. I got a weird story. It's like Forrest Gump shit. But
my favorite movie.
I did Survivor, the TV show. I'm not a reality TV guy. I actually don't like it at all.
You don't even watch it?
I don't watch it.
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
Yeah, that's too funny.
It's just fake. But Survivor was real in regard to that we weren't eating and stuff. So, But I took that because I was like, man, if I can take this, I'm not going to be able to come back and just do this job. It might give me a way out. And it did. I came back home from that. I got second in that. So I knew I was either first or second during that time period. So I knew I had a little money coming in. It was either $1 million or $100,000, enough to move to Nashville.
Yeah.
Plenty if I'd won, but I didn't. But I took, as soon as I got home, coach was like, man, you can't do this. You can't run over a wall. You're 100, or I don't know what I was, but I lost 34 pounds. And so I go to Nashville again. First place I go, I'm like, I'm going to go visit, hang out, chill with the boys. And then as soon as I get there, there's a room available in their house. One of their best buds got depression real bad, had to move home. They had a room available in the house. And that night at Tin Roof, Demumbrian, it was like, all right, I'm moving in. And so that was 2010 or 11. It was the fall of 2010, I think. And then we just kept writing songs together. And it was a blessing that nobody would really give us a chance because we had to write with each other and we all became buddies. We all became, that style of music we were writing was not happening yet in country. And still to this day, it changed country music for better or for worse.
Yeah.
If you hate me, if you hate FGL, if you hate that time period, doesn't matter. It worked.
Nothing you can do about it, right?
I mean, Cruise changed country music forever, and
Absolutely.
FGL changed country music forever. So that was how it started.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's such a good lesson for people too. Like you compare it to JB Holmes again, who's like, and even like Ryan, they get a golf club in their hands when they're 14 months old, right? And it's like,
Talking about Joe Hansen?
Yeah.
And like he's saying with like a hockey stick, but it's like it doesn't have to be that way. Like, we're meant to be where we're meant to be, and like just trust in yourself and things will happen the way they should, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been a lot of stuff that when I look back makes zero sense. Like it should have never worked, but it did. And The coolest part I'd say about my journey was, like I said, it was 2010. We'd written Cruise. That was coming out. That was popping off. Finally, like, okay, now people are wanting to write with me. And now I'm going to be able to stay in town because I know money's coming in. I didn't know how much, but I knew something was coming in. I didn't think when they said Cruise was going to be their first single, I was like, shit. Like, a band nobody knows on a first single never works. And obviously their story's written. But that changed my story too. But the best thing that could have happened to me was they blew up. And then we split up, houses. Me and Brian are still living together. Tyler's out. But they're touring like crazy. They're starting to explode. And so my writing buddies were gone. Like I had nobody to write with. So I had to figure that out. And that started me with Chris DiStefano, Ashley Gorley, which was like Ready, Set, Roll, Shane McAnally, Gonna Want It Tonight. What I didn't realize was I was chasing something that wasn't me because it was the only thing I knew. But that's okay. Like you said, you just go with life sometimes and it happens like that. But I was chasing Cruise and didn't even know it. Shit, if it happened for them, that's going to happen for me. I've got Ready, Set, Roll, How She Rolls, Gonna Want It Tonight. I'm about to be, all right, get ready. I'm going to be selling out arenas here in a year. Let's go. That didn't happen for me. And that was the best thing that could have happened for me because I had to start. Although I was having success, it wasn't enough for that to define who I was in the best way. Because that led to, that album went platinum. It was called Ignite the Night in 2014. So I was having success. I was also miserable during that time too, because like I said, I just lost my dad and had never dealt with it. So all the way up until about 2017, I was just having success, but I was hating life. And then I did this thing in 2017 that was military based. That straightened my life up just a little bit, but I still didn't know who I was as, an artist and what songs I wanted to put out. But I was still having success with them all the way up to like a song called Three Chords and the Truth. It was more me, didn't work at radio. And then Eyes on You hits. And that was me, but it was more pop radio than me.
Yeah.
It worked. It was huge. I think it's like 3 times platinum now. Yeah. I'm continuing to have success with all these things that were cool, but they're not what I'm most excited about. But I still wasn't sure what I wanted to be excited about. And then I'm wrapping this up, just kind of the full 10 years timeline real quick. But and then after that was a song called Lonely If You Are, which is platinum. Didn't go number 1, but it worked. And then Drinking Beer, Talking God, Amen went number 1, worked. That was a full circle moment with FGL. And then the first single off the next record is the first time I can look at it and be like, it's taken 10 years. It's called If I Were Rock and Roll. And Joe is just playing it on the cart. He likes to play my music just to give me shit. But that's the first time where it took me 10 years to figure out like, all right, I don't know if this is going to work like the other ones did. And I don't care because I love this music. Me loving the music, I mean, that's all leading to this next album I've talked a lot about this week with other friends. Me loving the music is going to translate live. There's a whole different set of rules that I followed on this album that's about to come out later this year than I've ever done. Like Eyes on You, I never even knew how to play it on guitar because when we wrote it, it was on piano and tracks.
Oh, wow.
And so that all led to this record, which was, I wrote every song on guitar. So the way I wrote it was the way that we put the band around it, and they surrounded what I did. And then, so I knew all the songs, which was part of how we chose the songs. We did the whole record in my house, right here, 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
From here. And it was just a shit show for 2 weeks in my house, but I had the most fun I've ever had done doing music. And I had a year and a half off during COVID to not do anything and to actually have fun and live life. So I wrote a lot about that. I wrote a lot about real shit, dealing with my dad finally. I've never really put out a heartfelt song about my dad. And that's about to happen finally. It's like, damn, it's been 14 years. It's too long, but I'm good. I'm good with where I am now. And that's the short version of the last 10 years of how this happened.
Yeah. Would you say music is an outlet for, healing and release and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it certainly is. And it hasn't been fully because, like I said, I was having success with the more pop stuff, which is cool. That's where I was and that's what I was willing to do. And that's what it is. But now, especially writing on guitar, writing what I want to write and writing really what's me It's not FGL, it's not Sam, it's not Luke Combs, it's not Wallen. Those are the 4 guys that I've seen explode since I was in this. And people chase that, and I'm not chasing shit anymore.
That's great, man. Yeah. It's really easy to chase, what's working and what's already there and what you think is the right thing to do. But when you step into your own, it's like, it's my time now. It's my turn.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a wild moment because I don't know if it's going to equal success because it's not pop. It ain't that at all.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on your terms of success, right? Because success, if you stepping into what you really want to do, like, what gets better than that, right?
My manager, Eddie, was like, well, man, because I was talking to him about this. This was like 3 weeks ago. He said, well, man, you've done all that. You've had the hits and this and that. I've never strung a bunch together, which is kind of cool with me. Like, it is what it is. And he said, you've done all that. Are you happy with it? And I was like, not really. And he made his point just with that. I was like, damn, good point. So if this doesn't work, I really don't care. I'm going to double down on the next one and do it again.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, Will's production company is called Double Down Pictures. So
Double Down Pictures.
It's all about it.
It's all about that commitment.
It's the commitment to what you know is right, for sure.
Yeah, that authenticity.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I saw you're working on, it was unreleased, I believe, on your social media. I think it's called Road Trip, and I couldn't really get the name.
No, that was Road Tripping, that we were doing a road trip.
Okay,
so me and Kaiser, my content guy, it's a song called Key West in Colorado. I don't know if it's going to be the first single. I guess the first single off the next record is called If I Were Rock and Roll. Nice. It died at like 43. So it's like, all right, this is a good start.
Yeah.
But I don't care, man. It's better. And if anybody could come up to me and tell me it's not, I'd say, all right, well, that's your opinion, but you're wrong.
That's cool, man.
To me, it is better. It's more real. It's more me. And it died. And I told the label it was going to die. And they didn't trust me. And I'm okay with it, though, that we made the decision together. And like I said, it died, but it's your definition of success. I think it's laying a foundation for what this album's going to be. And I was at CRS, which is Country Radio Seminar, which is where you got to go in and impress all these radio folks. And I'm done with that too. It's like, if we don't have a relationship and you don't like me, that's okay. Don't play my music then. I'm not going to go out of my way to make you like me. Like, this is business. It shouldn't even be about whether you like me or not. It should be about whether the song's good. And I was on stage. I was pretty boozed up, but I spoke from the heart. I was like, man, I said, I just want to say thank you to you guys for Eyes on You, Lonely If You Are, Drink a Beer, Talking God, Amen, Ready, Set, Roll. Like, we've had a blast these last 10 years, but if you want that from me here on out, you might as well go look elsewhere because you ain't getting it. And I said that on stage and then played Key West in Colorado, which is the video we were shooting.
That's great.
We did a road trip from Panhandle of Florida to Panhandle of Texas, because the idea of the song is somewhere between Key West and Colorado. Doesn't have to be either one. But it was just a road trip. We had a blast, filmed it, and the video's pretty much done.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we talk about that. We've talked about it a few times, actually, about being an artist and creative, honestly, and how I'd say even 5-10 years ago, and even still today, people want to put you in a box and say, this is what you're going to do, this is all you can do, and this is the only way you're going to have success. But now it's like, in the acting space, I know firsthand, it's like before, if you shot commercials, you couldn't do TV. Then if you did TV, you couldn't do, film and so on and so forth. But now it's like, well, if you're not doing all of it, or if you're not doing what the hell you want, if you want to get behind the camera, direct, if this is what's true to you, go tell that story, man. Yeah. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to think. And I feel like the most success, or at least the most successful people that I've seen, are doing their fucking thing their way. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
That's the most fun to watch, really.
I've read McConaughey's book.
Yeah.
But on this road trip, we had like 6 hours to come home from Arkansas. And I would listen to it because I was in an Airstream. I know he's a big Airstream guy. But I was doing that trip. So I was like, I'm going to listen to this just to see if I can pick up anything else. That's what he did. I mean, he had A Time to Kill, and he was like off to the races after that. And instead of going and doing something huge, he chose a couple a little bit more different films that didn't explode. But he was learning who he was, and he was figuring out who he was. And then he became the shirtless on the beach rom-com guy. And listen to him talk, I respect it because he talked about like, that's just where I was in life. And I got a lot of respect for him recognizing that. And then he recognized it, didn't love where it was, and changed it. And he did Mud. He did True Detectives.
One of my favorite seasons
True
of
Detective.
TV,
incredible. Like he changed people's opinion because he did what he wanted to do, which wasn't probably the popular thing at the time.
Peter Berg told me like early on, right out of college, like whatever film you decide to get involved in and like try to produce, you better fucking love that topic and like, because you're going to be immersed in it. It's going to follow you forever. And like, just make sure you love it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you look at what his career, you like talk about leading by example, like, you know, Friday Night Lights, what does he do? He goes and lives in Texas. You know, he does Lone Survivor. What does he do? He spends time with the military. And like, that's what he loves. And like, that's what he's all about. So like, when you talk about like a method director, right? But like, do what you're passionate about. And, you know, if you're not, then what are you doing?
Man, it's, that's cool to hear.
Yeah.
Go live in Texas type thing. This album, like I said, I had two years now to live a different life than touring. When you're touring, it's pretty easy to get caught up in for me, it was pretty easy to get caught up in what's a hit? I need a hit. Oh, I need this song for the album, so they'll sing it back to me, which takes you away from, I need to put out good music. I need to sing the songs that are in the right key. I need to sing topics I give a shit about. I need to sing with the production that I like as opposed to just a wall of noise with fake drums everywhere. And that helped me realize, God dang, my manager's called me twice. Okay, he hung up. That's usually not good.
we can take a break.
We're good if he calls me again.
All right.
But I'm looking at the list. Walk That Easy. I wrote that in Alabama. All Dogs Go to Hell was the only song on this record that I wrote on 16th Avenue, which is Music Row. Key West in Colorado, I wrote that on a yacht or not, whatever, sport fisher down in Florida. Bench Seat, I wrote in my kitchen by myself. Life Part of Living, same thing. All these songs were written, Oklahoma was basically written, that was written in Alabama too, but it was right coming off the heels of my trip to Oklahoma. I went to these places. Half these songs were written in Montana, which is places that I love.
Love Montana.
And that inspired a lot of the sounds. Like Oklahoma, we were listening last night, has a 4.5 minute outro.
That's sick.
And producer and I were talking, it's like, man, let's cut this down on the record, then put out a full version of it. Fuck that. Let's put out a full version of it on the record. Like if you want to skip it, it ain't a tape. Just press next.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
We're putting all these songs came from real life experiences. And Goodnight Nancy was it's about that lady at the bar that's like always there. You just love walking in, you know she's going to be there.
Yeah. And
that was about the lady at Floribama because we went the night before. So it's real life experiences. 4 Days, the one about my dad. It's just me and an acoustic guitar. And it's just real songs, man. It's real life for me.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the success of it, man. I'm sure it's going to do well, dude. And it's going to be cool to see you like from here on now. Because, dude, I mean, honestly, I love your music.
Thank you.
Up into now anyways,
Dude,
man. So it's going to be even cooler. See you step into it to where you really want to create what you want to create, man.
Yeah. And this is our first record with Oscar Charles. And he's not had a boatload of success, man. He's like, LV Shane would be the only number one I think he's had as a producer, which I love getting in there and creating a sound with him as opposed to going in with another producer who's created a sound already the last 10 years. I love going in and Oscar and I are creating something that we're not even sure of. So it's kind of fun, man.
Yeah, man.
As a fan or a spectator from the outside, you can't really tell kind of what's going on behind the scenes. You just say, I like that track. He's talented. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's really cool to hear more.
Yeah, this is an album. It's just weird to say that because the last album was called The Album, which is, I don't know what happened there. But I kept calling it The Album to the label and stuff. Like, what are we going to do this for the album? So like, fuck it, let's just call it The Album. And I put it out in 3 parts. So it's part 1, 2, 3. This is the first real full album like that you could put on a record back before a tape, before you could just skip, playlist, all this shit. This is the first full album that I'll have ever put out. And I really believe that now. Finally, it's like, because it was all recorded, one producer, one place, one moment. And even if we go in and record something else right now, it's not making its way into this. Even if it's a huge hit.
Wow.
We're not doing it. I'll save that for the next one.
That's great, man.
Our horror film was called The Resort, as like a working title because we shoot at a resort in Maui.
Yeah.
And we just kept the title.
It's easy. It's right in front of your face. Take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. Would you guys ever do a vinyl record? Like just even if it's a couple? You can do
We're doing it on this one.
That's great.
I did it on Lambs and Lions, which looking back, that Lambs and Lions album is stacked with good stuff. It didn't have, actually, I think Eyes on You was on that. And something else. Lonely If You Are, I don't know. But, no, Lonely If You Are was on the album. But the Lambs and Lions album was really good. It has some really good stuff on it. We did it for that. We did not do it for the album. This one, I want to do it like, so that this picture has writing around it.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm not going to keep that. I'm actually going to go to just a picture of him, which is, like I said, it's him double fisting banquets in Wyoming in 1980 something. So it's going to have no border. When you see that on a vinyl,
dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to know what that's about.
Hell yeah.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, we'll do
I'm
that.
definitely buying that vinyl, man. That's for sure.
And I listen to vinyls a lot now. I got a vinyl set up in my house, and I've been listening to different stuff from like Reed Southall Band. He's an Oklahoma kid.
Yeah.
Flatland Cavalry's awesome. William Clark Green to just, I'm all over the map right now. Chris Ledoux, I've been listening to him even more, and he was my hero when I was a kid. So
Yeah, cool. I was going to ask, like, who were a lot of your inspirations?
Chris and Garth were huge. Wallen and I got into a little bit of a talk about this last week, where he was like, man, he's a big, who was he talking about? Oh man, I'm trying to figure out who he was talking about, but I'll think of it in a second. But I was talking about Garth, and he's a huge, it's Keith Whitley.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't find it on here. I'm like, it was Keith Whitley. I'm pretty sure it was Keith Whitley that he was just saying, man, he was a big Keith Whitley guy, which makes sense. You listen to his stuff, he's got some classic stuff on there. But I was Garth, Ledoux, George Strait became the thing. I was real mainstream. Chesney became a thing when I was in high school, middle school, into college. And this last 2 years, I've dove into just a lot of different stuff. Flatland is awesome. The Stones, I saw them 3 times.
Nice.
I'm a big Eric Church guy. I love Eric.
Yeah.
Whitley, I've dove into a bunch of his stuff. Obviously, like Don't Close Your Eyes and some of his bigger hits, back before he passed away, were incredible. But I didn't grow up on that stuff. I didn't grow up on anything before Garth Brooks and Chris Ledoux. Those are the only 2 guys I remember listening to as a kid.
Wow.
Which sucks,
Yeah,
I wish I had more music history, but I'm getting it now, and I'm diving in and making myself do it because there's a lot of awesome music out there.
Is that music in general, or was it just country that you didn't really have a, influence from?
Just music in general. I didn't. It was all. Yeah. It wasn't even fully country. It was literally just Garth and Chris. That's all I listened to as a kid, and then George Strait, became a inspiration, or not an inspiration, because I was not thinking I was going to be a singer. But now I'm diving into a whole lot of different stuff, which is awesome. I sit here and trash talk playlists, but let me find one. I got all these. We made a Key West in Colorado playlist for this road trip, and Dermot Kennedy is another guy I think is incredible. He's newer.
Yeah, he's
God
great.
Dang, he's good. Parker Millsap, Cody Jinks, all those guys, Dwight Yoakam. There's a bunch of Ledoux and Strait in here. The Panhandlers, that's Cleto from Flatland and Josh Abbott and a couple of William Clark Green.
Yeah.
And Whiskey Myers, they're badass. If you don't know Whiskey Myers, check them out. Everybody knows them now. They're killing it. But yeah, it's just all over the board.
Hell yeah.
You got any career highlights?
As far as music?
Yeah, music goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know NASCAR's high on the list, but
I got a sick ring that says Jimmy Johnson 48. That was cool.
That's dope.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah. It's but I'd say the first one was, looking back on Cruise, it was awesome. The number one talk, and you get the plaques and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate that for what it was, though. I'm like, yeah, this is easy. This music thing is easy.
Just because it came in so hot.
It's so hot. Yeah. It was a mistake. It was an accident. We didn't mean to write that song. And but it was a day we weren't trying to write something else. We weren't trying to write, let's write a Cruise. Let's write a Body Like a Back Road today. Let's write whatever's Sand in My Boots, whatever Wallen's biggest song is right now. That's what happens. And people try to chase. And we weren't trying to chase when we wrote Cruise. We just wrote it. And that's what Cruise was. That was just I wish I'd enjoyed it more, but you don't know when you're that young. And then touring with Chesney in 2015 was a blast. I love Kenny. He's an awesome guy. and we became buddies. And he's a good dude, man. And I grew up on him, so that was a really cool thing.
He's a real fun show to watch too, man. He's got a lot of stage presence. He really interacts with the audience, man. It's a great time.
Yeah, Joe Hansen just said, "Are you gonna be here for the Chesney show?" I still haven't looked at the date, but he said, "If you are, we're getting up on stage." Hell yeah, yeah, we are.
That's awesome.
Let's go. But then March of 2020, right before it all fell apart, I did a show with Garth Brooks.
Sick.
That was incredible. Just because, like I said, I grew up on Garth. And that was awesome. I opened for him a month ago. We just did the show at Nissan with him, but we were opening, but Garth came out. We all sang "Will the Circle Be Unbroken" together, and he's putting his arm around me singing. It's like, man, 8-year-old me would be like, what in the hell did you do?
Hell yeah.
Man, 30-year-old me is already saying that. I'm not even a part of it, man.
Dude, that was cool. Yeah, and there's just cool moments like that along the way. There's plenty for sure. I've had a hell of a ride.
Any ruts that you didn't think you'd get out of? Or
yeah, I mean, after, first of all, whatever this phone call means, there's probably a rut coming. Oh shit, what now?
Oh, man.
But after Ready, Set, Roll, and Go On Tonight went number one, all the Sony crowd, I mean, you get 2 or 3, 4 in a row when you're that new, people grab a hold of that. And then Sony came in and fired everybody. And I was like, man, this is going to be easy. It don't matter. I'll come out of this fine. First single we dropped was a song with a new regime, was a song coming off of 2 hits, back to back, first two hits ever, first 2 singles ever. And then the first one we dropped was called Whisper. We pulled it after 2 weeks. Second one was Everybody We Know Does. We pulled that after it was died at like 40 something, 45.
Damn.
And so they couldn't have fucked that up any worse. And I can say that with confidence now. It's like, I look back on that. Nope, they fucked that one up.
Damn.
And that's okay. I asked out of my deal right after that, and I was pissed. I was like, man, like I said, they fucked it up.
Yeah, you had momentum, and then
that was bad. And I'm not saying Sony's bad. They're killing it. They got Kane, they got Luke Combs, they got Marin, they got Old Dominion. They're killing it. But with me, they couldn't have fucked it up any worse. And I'll be done saying that.
And I can imagine signing with one of the biggest companies out there in the space, and then you think you're good to go, and it's like, oh shit.
So that was a bigger roadblock than I anticipated. But I don't think this album that I'm about to put out is happening if all of a sudden that becomes my identity, because I'll probably get stuck in that. And who knows with success and stuff, if it happens too fast, it can really fuck you up. And for me, it's, there's still issues I deal with every day with success, and you start thinking in your head, you get too into your head, and you get stuff thrown at you all the time, and you get lost in who you are, but that's part of life, and you figure it out, man. It's and that's part of where the big part of my last even 2 weeks has been, of just figure it out and keep going.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's why the game of golf is so great too.
Yeah,
it teaches you a lot about all that, man.
Golf is the worst game ever. It's like, man, why would you invent something? First of all, that you hit a ball 400 yards and you got to hit it in a hole this big in 4 shots. That's stupid.
It's an impossible task. Yeah,
it's so dumb, but it's awesome, man. I could not believe some of the shots I was hitting. I buried a 50-foot putt from off the green just a second ago to hit birdie.
Oh hell yeah.
And I told him, they said, what's your handicap? I was like, about 18. And then I always come out screaming, and they always doubt me. And it falls apart at some point. But then today, it really didn't fully fall apart. I missed a couple of drives pretty bad, like 30-yard drives where it duffed, but I'll get it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all about just getting out there and having fun.
Yeah, especially here. This is the best place on the planet. Any Discovery, you know it well.
Yeah.
They're the best. That's what got me into golf, was this vibe of golf, yeah.
What, speaking of Discovery, what do you think of Troubadour, and, how does it compare to other properties?
I've only played Baker's, which is insane, right down in the Bahamas. That was my first Discovery experience. And that was like, wait, we're golfing with no shirt, no shoes, and you can get hammered all day at these happy shacks, which is what I call them. I think they're called comfort stations, but I call them happy shacks. And
might be renamed here real soon.
I'm trying. I'm going to keep calling them that. I'm going to probably buy my own shirts and put them in the shop just without telling anybody. Yeah. Comfort Station Nation. Come on. We can beat that. Yeah. And
I didn't approve that.
Somebody did. And that's just, come on. Happy Shacks. But that one, I played Driftwood. It's not really done yet. I don't have houses. But this is special because I got a farm 10 minutes from here, man. It's like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's great.
And first time I ever golfed here, they start talking about these cottages, and I know Joe's going to buy one right away. Like, oh, cool, we'll just hang at his. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And they were being more lenient towards people coming out and golfing because it's just weird times. But I came out and golfed with my manager who just called me and Stelly, and we're on 9 rolling up to the tee box. And I didn't realize, oh, shit, Stelly, you're smarter than I thought you were, man. He was selling me without me even knowing it. And my manager, by rolling up on 9, he was like, do you have anything you could just, because at that time it's COVID, we're not making money. So you're trying to save and not spend. And I was keeping everybody on payroll. But he said, do you have anything you could liquidate to just get in here? Just whatever you got to do, buy the cheapest lot you can, get in. And Stelly's like, oh yeah, there's 3 cottages available. This is my favorite one because it has woods in the background. I know you love woods. There's probably some deer back there you can hunt. Just don't tell us. He shows me the lot. By hole 10, I was like, I got a lot downtown. Like, that's how dumb I was, how much I was partying. Like, I forgot I have a house downtown. Who forgets that? Me. But I sold that right away, contingent, and I bought here off of 9, contingent on my house downtown selling, and it worked. And now I'm here, and I love golf. I love hanging out with the people around here. It's a whole different experience out here.
That's awesome. You get that deer yet?
I'm gonna have a blind or something in the woods this year just to check it out.
Yeah.
It'll be a bow. I don't want anybody freaking out when
keep it
7
quiet.
mag goes off.
Yeah.
2 bow shooters right here.
I'm a big bow hunter.
Yeah.
You?
Love it. Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
The first time ever, I was 12 years old. Grandpa takes me out. He had a lease at the King Ranch in South Texas.
Yeah.
We'd go out there and man, I'm glad I was around that early on. And not only do you learn gun safety and environmental conservation and animal population management and all these cool things, but it's just those experiences with the family. Going out, people think it's brutal or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
killing, murder.
Yeah, but it has to happen for the environment to be sustainable. You have too many of one population. All the grass is gone, and then the cows can't eat, and then so it's a circle of life.
I think that was Disney. I mean, I really believe that. Disney puts it out there you're a murderer. Well, first of all, you're eating it. So if you don't eat meat, that's your prerogative, but I do. So don't tell me what to eat.
Me too.
Also, and you want to go to the grocery store, that's fine. But I don't want to go to the grocery store. I will sometimes, but I don't know where that came from. I know exactly where this elk came from because I saw it die. And it's not a thing that you get pleasure out of watching something die. It is a thing that you get pleasure out of going out and finding what you put in your mouth and eat for the next year. It can supply you with that. And you get the memories with me and my brother. The first elk he ever killed, I was behind a tree watching him. It was my birthday and he was supposed to walk my way and I'm sitting there getting ready. Yeah, I'm going to kill one on my birthday. This is awesome. And he walks the other way and I watched my brother kill his first bull ever. And he sits, my dad died when I was 22, he was 24. And, getting to see him get emotional about that, wishing that our dad was there to see it. It's like, dude, he saw this, man. And then I start getting emotional. I'm like, that's a memory I'll never forget with my brother. And that doesn't happen without the experience of going out and hunting. And that's what we do. And it's part of my life and I love it.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting out to Hawaii and hunting. Yeah.
Axis out there, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. Yep.
I got a big white sow one time on the Big Island.
Did you?
We took it to this restaurant called Merriman's and they cooked it up right on the thing for us. It was incredible.
Oh.
But Hawaii, low key, is great hunting.
Oh, yeah. It's insane from what I hear. I mean, I haven't been, but yeah. Everybody I'm talking to, I got some
Well, it's
buddies.
high fenced. I mean, it's basically high fenced hunts. They ain't going nowhere. I had an axis deer in Texas 2 years ago. Walked in. They don't have a lot, but it was free range. Everything was free range. And we're watching these bucks. All of a sudden, this axis comes out 200 yards away. It looks like just God walking through the woods. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's the axis, dude. They're rare. The guy's sitting with me. I'm shaking. I'm like, shit, I'm nervous. Did everything perfect. He comes into 18 yards. I'm like, hell yeah. I did not check to see if I could get my bow back in the blind. When I sat, I'd never hunted out of a blind before because elk, you're going all over.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. go back, start getting back. I'm like, oh shit, this is hard. Like I didn't check. And all of a sudden my arrow slams down. I'm just like, oh shit. And Axis looks up and he's checking it out. Then he goes back down to eat. And I'm like, holy shit, thank God I get another chance. Here we go. Draw back perfectly. As soon as I draw back, he scoots off.
Oh, no
so
way.
that's the only shot I had in an Axis. And that's my doom right now. But this past year, archery in Texas, same exact blind. I hunted the whole time and it was my last morning. Like I had no more hunts. And it did the same thing, but an Axis didn't walk in. It was a older 8-point. And he walked in and almost the exact same situation, and I got my redemption. So
nice.
I got that one done.
Close that loop.
Yeah.
That's
Good to
great,
hear.
man.
Yeah, I got
man.
it back.
What are some of your favorite golfing memories?
Well, one happened about an hour and a half ago. Smoked JT's house and put it 10 feet from the green. I took my first boys trip last year on golf. I never understood golf boys trips. I'm like, you guys are stupid. What are you doing? And then I went to West Palm with Joe and Neeler and the boys. We had a blast, man. That was the first time I've ever done it like that. And what you realize is you're going out every night, you're having a good time, you're getting up to golf, you're hungover, but you keep it rolling. Met Jordan, he walked in, and I went to Carolina, so that he walks in to our VIP section of this place. It was some small little weird place, but we were having a blast. He walks in, looks at his guy, says, "Nope." Walks back out. I'm like, oh, I gotta go talk to him. And I followed the whole Jordan crew down the back alleyway of this little bar. And they put us in the VIP because we're there, we got a name and all that too, if that's what you want to call it, whatever. It was fun. And so the security guys didn't want to stop me because they're taking care of us too. And so I'm like, whatever. Jordan goes, sits down. He's with Ahmad Rashad. I walk up to him. I'm like, oh, fuck, this worked. I'm face to face with MJ right now. Oh, what do you do now? And I shake his hand. I'm just like, what's up, man? I'm Chase. I went to Carolina. And Mac Brown and I, he's one of my good buddies. I appreciate you supporting our football team. And he's cool as shit, smoking a cigar. He's like, absolutely, Chase. I love it, man. Go Heels, whatever he said. And I'm just like, all right, good to talk to you, man. Just want to say what's up. And I got the hell out because he's MJ. He gets talked to all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
But that was cool. The best memory I have, like on the course, it was out here on hole 13. It's par 3. I think it's 13 or 14. I think it's 13. And I duff my drive. It's gone. Hit another one off the back of the green. And they were playing scrambles and stuff like that, different teams. And William Sellers, who played golf at Alabama with JT, is my teammate. And I'm 110 feet off the green, like to the hole. And I'm just get up there, hammer a putt. And it's starting to look good. It drops, right? And Sellers just looks at me like, what the fuck? I throw my club. We jump up and down. We're celebrating like we just had a hole in one and won the tournament.
Right.
And it was a par. We parred that hole and actually lost it. But that was the coolest. That was my first birdie, even though it was a par, I guess, because I duffed my drive. And it was the second drive. But
Oh, you take them all again.
yeah, I mean, I took the shoes off, signed them. First birdie, like they're up at Hoo-Ha's bar downtown. It was like he's got his first Masters cup
yeah.
over here
Yeah.
that they gave him for the Masters.
Yeah,
that ain't
yeah.
shit compared to my first birdie shoes
There you go.
on 13 when it was actually a par. But that was my favorite memory on the course because we celebrated hard, way
That's
harder
awesome.
than we should have.
I mean, there's nothing better in golf than a long putt. Like, I
Yeah.
just really don't believe that, It's like,
I mean, even a long chip or something like that, or an iron shot.
Yeah.
Hole in ones are cool, but you're right. Long putts are like Tiger back in the day when he's pointing at it as it's going
Yeah.
in. Like, you don't beat that. I think that was Valhalla.
It's like that might be like the most famous golf highlight ever. It was like that long putt at Augusta. Like, where you
Oh, the Augusta one.
yeah.
That put him in a playoff. Is that what that was?
I feel like he's had so many that
Yeah,
have, right?
You
Like,
don't know which one. That was.
Yeah. They all kind of go together.
Yeah. He's
Right.
the pinnacle of the excitement about golf. So growing up watching him was awesome. I wish I'd have golfed when I was a kid, but I'm golfing now.
You're playing a lot of sports, though.
That's true. I was focused on football and that worked out. So
Are there any things that have changed after starting country music and going down that path that you like really enjoy? like perks of the business?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot. Like I don't belong at a place like this. Like,
Hey, man.
It's weird to me.
I think
like,
you do though, man.
I guess so. But I mean, there's a lot of perks to it. They're hanging out, like meeting MJ. That's cool.
Yeah.
And MJ, I'm gonna believe it in my heart that he halfway knew who I was. The way he acted, I think MJ knew who I was. But
I believe it.
it's funny. They play like Carolina Can. That's one of my songs. They play that after every football game, and that's Mac Brown. That's a coach that I grew up when he won with Vince Young at Texas against USC. Like Mac Brown was a god in my mind. Now he's texting me and stuff, and I run into him Baker's Bay. I ran into him the last time I was there. Stuff like that. The coolest part about that is you get in with a lot of famous people and all that. I was talking about this the other day. Like, famous bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just a made up human thing that we created. At the end of the day, the coolest part is getting to know these people. They're good people, man. There's a lot of really good people in music, golf, movies, whatever, sports in general. There's a lot of really good people in it, and you surround yourself with those good people.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest part that I found with all these famous, rich, whatever you want to call them, people that I've, been able to hang around these last few years. And then, yeah, man, it's just, you surround yourself with good people.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason we made this podcast in the first place is like, it's not necessarily only giving people access to people in that space, right?
Yeah.
But it's having conversations and you realize, look, these guys are people, men or women doing awesome things, they're incredibly hardworking. They got great psychology, great mindsets, and they're just doing cool stuff, but the whole thing is having fun along the way too.
Yeah.
It's like, it's how you show up in the world, really.
Absolutely.
But it's, it's no different than like going down to your bar and meeting everyone. It's just these people who happen to be doing a little cooler things every now and again.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the people that you're around that have that success, they got their shit together for the most part. A lot of them don't.
For the most part, yeah.
A lot of them don't. I mean, I haven't. A lot of my life, for a lot of it's been, I've been an absolute wreck. But that's part of it. And if you can figure out how to fix that and get your shit together, you can turn into one of those people that does have that success, and you don't sit there and have that guilt for it. You're like, man, this is all going to go away at some point, or I don't deserve this or anything. It's like, fuck that. Once you straighten your mind out and you get your life together and you keep working for what you want, you earned it along the way, and you can make it happen for yourself. And you got to have a great group of people around you, but you can make it happen for yourself, and you can enjoy it too while it's happening. And that's a big thing that I haven't done. I haven't enjoyed it enough. In the right ways. I've enjoyed it enough going out and getting plastered and wrecked and living that rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
I've lived that. And now I'm at a place in my life and my career, I'm starting to figure out there's more to it. And that's a really good place to be too, where you can enjoy the success in a much, much different way than just throwing it all away on one big party.
Yeah, man. Well, from the sounds of that alone, I'm sure this album you got coming up is going to embody it, but it sounds like you're about to make some of the best music you ever made, man. Yeah,
I hope so. I think it is, and it's nerve-wracking though. You put out something completely different compared to what you've done. It's always scary, but it's awesome when you don't have a choice. Like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna go in. Like, we have no click on the entire album, which a click is a beat that's perfectly timed that the drummer usually sticks with.
Okay.
It's a metronome, click, whatever you want to call it. And we didn't do that. We just did it all off a feel. Like, there's no way I can go back to what I was doing because it doesn't do anything for me anymore. So I'm excited.
You want to give us this is Chase Rice. Welcome to Studio 22.
Yeah.
That would be fucking
in the
sick.
camera or just talk it in?
Just
either or,
whatever,
man.
cool.
Just whatever, yeah.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice, and welcome to Studio 22. I'll give you one more if you want it.
Sure.
Always 2 takes. That's what Jordan walks into the, I wasn't there, but it was when I was in college. And he walks into Carolina. They take him up to the film room that they do all their promotional stuff. And the guy hands him a list. Our equipment manager told me this because he was in there. Hands him a list that says, hey, man, you mind saying this you mind saying this a few times so we can just have cuts and all that? He said, nope. Like free throws, you get 2 shots. When I heard that, I was like, damn, that's a confident dude right there.
That's great.
Fucking epic.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice, and this is Studio 22. Was that right?
That was great, man. Dude, thank you for everything, man. Thanks for coming in.
Dude, thank you guys.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video.
And subscribe and hit the bell for a whole lot more to come.
Thanks for tuning in to Studio 22.